Welcome back, and as I promised, I'm going to show you a loop record. So here I've got a zombie, and I'm going to want to say brains. Brains. My plans for it is this zombie right here. So I'll probably, in the final mix, I'll be panning this zombie from the right, and as the camera pulls back, their perspective is going to change. So they've got this zombie on the right going brains, and then it moves across. Or in fact, I run and it moves across. And so that's going to move around. And the whole time, I'm going to use that audio cue of it going brains all the way through. Brains. And right at that point there, and you notice I've already made my clip frame accurate, the gun fires, the zombie gets hit. So within those 2 frames, right there, guns fired, the recoils come up, and the zombie's been struck. And I figure that's a good time for whatever the zombie's saying, in this case brains, to stop. And it'll either cut off dead, so I could just run it all the way through, or maybe I want to make a noise of the impact of the bullets, shotgun pellets hitting me as a zombie. I'm empathizing with my zombie. I've got my same DX record track that I can use, and this gives me a visual cue of what I want to do. But this time I want to try a couple of options, and I'm not sure how well I'll get the synced expulsion. And maybe I want to try a few noises and see what I get for the best one. So I'm going to do 2 things. As I said in class, I'm going to go up to Pro Tools Preferences, and under the Operation tab in the Record section, I'm going to make sure I have ticked Automatically Create New Playlists when loop recording. This just saves me having to drag them out of the clip list into new playlists, which you can equally do. So as long as that's on, it'll create new playlists. If I want to see what playlists I've got going on, I just expand the track down, and when I see waveform, I can go into playlists view. Now, a few people are asking questions about playlists, so I'll show you a couple of little playlist type things. On the end of on the right hand side of the track name is a little arrow. That little arrow is the track list menu. See, every track has it. So if I click that and go new, it actually creates a new playlist, which means I can, if I'd done a recording already, well actually let's see how to do it without loop record. So I'll just do a brains with a on the end of it. So I'm just going to basically do the same thing I did with Quick Punch. Play. Oh, missed my cue. Let's try that again. Brains. So I'm using my cue to get me there. I'm not sure whether you can hear that, so I'm just going to play it back. Brains. So not a bad warm up, but I want to do another one, right? So I can go Control /, which on a laptop is a little less useful. There we go. Control /, because I've named a track. It's basically a quick way to click on that menu and go new playlist. So this is take 01. So playlist 01. So now I'm ready to go. If I press record, okay, not so good. So I could go through and manually do this, but that preference that I just ticked, let's go here, new playlist, DX Record 02, cool, name it whatever. This is what it saves me doing. That tick box means it can automatically do it, and I can just say, right, I'll record a section this long, I'll change into loop record mode, just right clicking on the button, loop record comes up, and I can just go over and over and over and do this. So I'm just going to start recording. Brains. 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 So there's a few different options, and you see as soon as I press stop, all of these playlists come up. So this gives me an option here to play around with my different zombie sounds. I wonder if any of these will end up in the final. Think of this not as a solo, despite the fact that it's a solo button and it's got an S on it for solo. It's actually solo comp lane. So these playlists that are underneath the main playlist, if I hide them away, we can just see whatever playlist is the relevant one. And you can go up to this menu and choose them. So let's have a look at the original take. So there's the original take on top. That's just shuffling around these playlists. All of these playlists here. If I want to individually listen to them, let's have a listen to the first take. Brains. And maybe let's have a listen to, I'll just loop around, loop playback. But as you'll see, I'll just solo each of these individual tracks. So I'll just loop around soloing the tracks. So I'm just going to play, and each time I'll change to a different take. Brains. 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 I think I liked this one, take 4. Or maybe it was take 3. I just feel like in take 4, I really captured it. But let's say I want to use a compilation of these things, and that's what a comp track is. It's a compiling of different takes. If you're using it in a musical context, it's obvious you do line by line or whatever. So these might be 5 different takes that the lead vocalist has done. Think of it in that context. So I really like the first part here. I actually like this whole take. I might even use it in the real one. And if that's the case, I could actually just change my playlist to be playlist number 4. This one here. And then that should jump up to the main playlist. But if I wanted to do a compilation of things, what I quite often do is make a new playlist once I've finished recording and call that the comp track. So in this case, I'm going to call it the zombie comp. Okay, so in the zombie comp, maybe I want to put this one up. So as soon as I select anything in a playlist, whether it's a part or a whole clip, so let's just take this bit here, the arrow comes up and I can actually copy that into the main playlist. Of course, there's a hotkey for it. So it's copied that up to there, and let's say I want to try this ending. I'll just copy that up. Don't have to be soloed to do it. You can just choose any bits willy-nilly. Let's see what that sounds like. Obviously, it's editable as well, so I can just trim across and edit. So there it is. Maybe I'll hit F and put some fades in, and I'll have a listen to it. Cool. Remember some of the other things that I talked about in class as well about placing clips. So if I was to tab up to the transient of this blah and maybe cut it off, so there's a few different ways I can do that, but remembering your key command focus, you can use the A key to trim everything pre-cursor. and let's say I find exactly where I want the hit to be, which you might remember was on the end of this carefully placed clip group. So you can see it comes in a little bit early. So I can just control grab a click, line it up right there. And so that's where I want my sound to be, and you can see it's changed its line a little bit. Let's just trim this up to it. Good. Probably change the level of it a little bit. Put a fade in. In this case it's not doing it though, because I suspect there's already a fade on it. Let's try that. There we go. Got a fade. Good. Apart from hotkeys to make it quicker, that's the basic functionality of what we talked about today. So hopefully that'll help you, and I'll go through and do a few more videos showing that as I go through and do the dialogue.